Hey guys, Dina DVD. I told the Clay Singer I'd go through my Digibooks that I've got. And this is not all of them. I'm missing The Sound of Music, which is downstairs because it's one that everybody would watch. The rest of these here are ones that pretty much I will watch. My boys will watch it once in a while, but my wife probably would not watch a lot of these. Some of them she will. But I left The Sound of Music downstairs because I know the kids will watch that one. Anyway, so I have Sound of Music. Then I have The Big Lebowski. This one, you know, it's got the bowling ball here, shiny bowling ball on it. Pretty classic comedy. Jeff Bridges, John Goodman. I think a lot of people picked this up when it came out. Back looks pretty cool. I think most people know the story of this. Jeff Bridges in a role that, you know, probably is probably his most famous, I guess. Well, that's debatable, but anyway. Certainly his most famous comedy role, let's say that. Really, you know, kind of an interesting character in Lebowski. John Goodman plays an interesting character as well. There's a lot of interesting characters in this thing. Really like it, and you know, quick peek. I think a lot of people have seen this thing, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. But you've got obviously the booklet. It's part of the deal with these. Not exceptionally thick, but quite a lot in here. And I just like the fact that you've got this kind of information, and then you've got the disc, which, yeah, it looks like a bowling ball, and I always save the backs of these things. So, that's the first one, Big Lebowski, and I would highly recommend this one. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Shawshank Redemption. I just picked up the steelbook of this not long ago, too. So I'm torn. I also see this movie, not the Digibook, but the movie itself is on sale for $7.99 like at Target now. But I wanted the Digibook. Nice looking disc there. Again, I save that stuff, and then you've got a booklet that, you know, talks about it, different characters and so on, the director. Really nice. Tim Robbins, to me, was perfect in this role. And Morgan Freeman, you know, he started out, he did the narration in this, and I think he started out a whole career of narration after this, because I believe after this one, he narrates just about everything on the planet now, from car commercials to banks to who knows what. He's got that kind of an everyman voice, and he certainly did for Shawshank Redemption. If you've never seen Shawshank Redemption, shame on you. Go out and watch it. It's, I think, one of the greatest movies ever made. That's the back right there, and that is a very telling scene right there, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it, because if you haven't seen it, based on a Stephen King short story, called it was a pinup girl, Rita Hayworth, and The Shawshank Redemption. So, I'm not going to tell you how Rita Hayworth fits in either, but she does. Dr. Zhivago. I got this in plastic wrap. And these Digibooks do fit into these. It's not plastic wrap. It's you can buy these to go over your Blu-rays and stuff. It made more sense to put these types of things in it, to me, this embossed by the way, than it did just a standard Blu-ray case, because Blu-rays are a lot easier to replace, the cases. A pretty thick book on this, 2 discs, beautiful art. This is a Russian love story, so just the fact that it takes place in the Russian winter is kind of cool. Yeah, Omar Sharif, Julie Christie. Beautiful movie. Beautiful, beautiful movie. Highly recommended. David Lean directed this, same guy that directed Lawrence of Arabia and others. But Brief and Connery did too. Great movie. Dr. Zhivago. Next up, I think a lot of people have seen this, but boy, did I really want the Digibook on this thing. It's really cool looking. Embossed, gold helmet, embossed 300. Really cool. This is called the 300 The Complete Experience. Pretty thick book. Again, it's in plastic wrap. Back even looks cool. Yeah, really cool looking movie. Very graphic. And I think the Digibook was the way to go on this, just for the cover alone, if nothing else. But a lot of information. That's extremely embossed, by the way. You really can feel the ridges and everything on this. Really nice. Highly recommend 300. And then, you know, a movie that, if you don't own this one, you should. It's in some capacity, whether you own the Digibook or not. You should own The Matrix. Maybe one of the collections. I never liked, well, I shouldn't say that. I really, the first one is the one that got me, the first Matrix, and that's the one that I stick with. So, great movie. Don't own any of the other ones, just own The Matrix. and a pretty thick book inside, and the disc. Another one in plastic, embossed here, Gettysburg Director's Cut. This one is the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. Pretty thick book. Great picture on the back. Yeah, I don't live too awfully far from Gettysburg. I've been there a couple times. I've driven through it many more. It's pretty touristy now, but you know, the battlefield still stays the same. This was filmed at Gettysburg. You know, a lot of Americans lost their lives at Gettysburg. And the bad side of the Civil War was everybody who lost their life was an American. So, yeah, it's a great movie. Highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. Tom Berenger, Jeff Daniels, Martin Sheen, and others star in this. You really can't beat it. There's Gods and Generals too, but I like Gettysburg better. Okay. Next, one of my favorite movies. Again, love Jackie Gleason. Anyway, as a comedian, as an actor, he plays the Minnesota Fats in this thing. Does a great job. This is The Hustler, starring Paul Newman. Yeah, Paul Newman's Fast Eddie in this. Fast Eddie Folsom. Great movie. Pretty thin book, but great looking artwork on that. This one's got one of these funky ones that don't snap in, but I've never had a problem with them. I guess it could come out if you were really careless and threw it around or something, but why would I? I keep this thing pretty nice, pretty pristine. You know, I'm the only one that handles it. You know, my family knows enough to stay away from these things. They know I treasure them too much. So, anyway. Color Purple, Steven Spielberg, Academy Award winner, Pulitzer Prize winning. Yeah, what can you say? That's pretty cool. Ray Dong Chong, Whoopi Goldberg, Jenny Glover. What's her name's in here too? What's her name? The one who used to have a TV show? Oh yeah, Oprah. You know? Oprah Winfrey is in this one as well. And I love period pieces. I really do. I just love stuff like this. You know, it just really tells an interesting story. And hey, you know what? Steven Spielberg directed it. Duh. How bad can it be? Another one of my favorite movies of all time. Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese. De Niro, Liotta, Pesci. Pesci plays such a bastard in this. Gotta love him. And Ray Liotta does too, as does Robert De Niro. They're all bastards in this. They're great, but they're good fellas. You know, guys you probably would want to hang around with if they were happy, and guys you'd stay the hell away from if they weren't. But it really paints an interesting picture of the life of guys who are made men, live in the actually just here Public Enemies too. But yeah. Lots of cool stuff. I had the regular Blu-ray, which was also awesome, and I traded to somebody on, I don't remember who anymore. I traded to somebody on YouTube because I had this one. But yeah, both great. We just had the regular movie or the Digibook in that case. Both great. This one I had to have on Blu-ray. I've had the DVD. The DVD was kind of crappy. It was a great movie, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite movies. It's in my top 5 probably. I love this movie. I love Mozart anyway, so the music, I know it's a dramatization, but it's just a great movie. F. Murray Abraham is great in this. Tom Hulse is great in this. I think it's just a great movie. You know, he plays Mozart with an abandon. There's also a CD that comes with this of songs, you know, that are in the movie from Mozart. There it is. I love this movie. I love the period that it's in. I love the characters. I love pretty much everything about this movie. If you've never seen the director's cut of Amadeus, I highly recommend it. Academy Award winner for Best Picture. Well deserving of Best Picture, I think, too. Yeah, really like this. Milos Forman was director. Love it. Amadeus. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, in case you're wondering where the Amadeus comes from. My favorite horror movie of all time, I think, The Exorcist. There's so much, and you know, I buy into the scariest film of all time. I think it is. It from an atmospheric standpoint, there's not many that beat it. It's dread more than it's gore. I'm not a big fan of gore. I know a lot of fans of gore out there that want to see how many ways people can get their arms cut off and stuff. But for me, the scene where they go up the steps, see their breath, just everything about this movie seems like it could happen, and very, very atmospheric. And you know what? You have some pretty good talent in this thing too. You got Max von Sydow, who played, for God's sakes, Ingrid Bergman's Seventh Seal when he was a young man. He was a young man here actually too. By the way, he looks old. He's old now, but anyway, great movie. Remember this one from when I was a kid? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid's 40th anniversary limited edition. I don't know how limited it is, but great. If you haven't seen this one, this is a great movie too. One of my favorites. Comedy, action, drama, based on true story. A lot of cool stuff about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Great Digibook. Batman, the first one. And out of all the ones that, other than the ones that are out now with Christian Bale, I think Michael Keaton might have been my favorite Batman. And I think the first movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker was my favorite of the movies. So I'm real happy to have this in a Digibook. I got this cheap too, like $10. But yeah, Jack Nicholson was a great Joker. As was Ledger. I mean, Heath Ledger did a great job too. Very manic. But both are good. I love this movie. Good movie. I'm going to have to watch this one soon. North by Northwest, 50th anniversary. Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, James Mason. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It's just a really classic film. Highly recommend North by Northwest. Unforgiven. Just recently did something on this one. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris. 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director. So, yeah, great movie, great Digibook. Pretty thick booklet with this one too. Just recently picked up The Town. Really nice, 2-disc. Really looks sweet. I haven't seen this movie before, so I'm really looking forward to it. I know the basic premise, but really looking forward to watching The Town. And I'm glad I got the Digibook. Got it cheap too. It was like $14 maybe. Malcolm X, another one I got for pretty cheap. Considering it normally goes for about $30, I think I paid $14 for it. Denzel Washington. It's a Spike Lee movie. Spike Lee's also in this movie. This is embossed up here. I love this movie. Love it. Just, I don't know. Love a lot of things about it. So, the back. Another one of my favorite movies. Malcolm X. Great story. And last but not least, Citizen Kane by Orson Welles, 70th anniversary edition. I haven't watched this one yet. I've watched Citizen Kane I don't know how many times, 10 maybe in my life. But I gotta watch this one soon. It's just a brilliant movie, a lot of extras with this thing. The Battle Over Citizen Kane alone is a movie worth watching. I've seen it before, but I want to watch that again. Yeah, you can't beat Citizen Kane on Blu-ray. It's going to look neat. I want to look through the booklet again. I looked through when I first got it, but one of my favorite movies, maybe my favorite movie of all time, quite possibly. It's a wonderful movie. I love Orson Welles in it. Love everything about it. All right, guys, that is my Digibook collection for now anyway. Take care.